Imperatriz gets the job done, Jimmysstar gets rolled, Riff Rocket springs into Australian Guineas favouritism. These were some of the big headlines on what was, well, I'm not too sure of the word, but just a day of racing at Flemington, a Group 1 day of racing at Flemington. As we take a look at how the races ranked throughout the day, the highest ranked performance was Riff Rocket with his exceptional performance in the CS Hayes Stakes. You can see and just tell how slow they went in the Black Caviar Lightning, so much so that Imperatriz has ranked lower than El Soleado. So you can just see how slow they went in the Black Caviar Lightning there. How many 1400 metre races did they have today? I don't know, but they all ranked pretty well. I'm pretty sure every single horse that won over 1400 metres ranked pretty well today around the midsection of the card. And I've got the microphone up close to my face this time, so hopefully the audio comes through a little bit better than the racing review last week. And in terms of my performance, I got 0 out of 10 today, which is not like me. I'm just trusting that it's a bad week because there are a lot of horses that the market didn't fancy that won today. So I'm hoping it's just a one-off week and I can bounce back into what is my favourite race day of the year next week, Blue Diamond Day, with fine style. But we'll get on to a full review of what happened today. Black Caviar Lightning Stakes, watch gate number 3 at the start. I Am Unstoppable dips at the start and it pulls up with a slow recovery. You could probably tell that's why. Imperatriz jumps away okay. Private Eye from the deep comes across to settle in the lead, which I'm sure no one expected. And also, big thing that happened at the start is the astrologist missed the start, and that's who I thought would lead the race, so obviously it couldn't lead after missing the start. Private Eye, a lot of people will say well done to Blake Shin for settling outside the leader. I thought it was a good decision as well, but I just think Blake Shin went too slow on Private Eye. If you put these two horses next to each other, Private Eye and Imperatriz, who's going to sprint the better? Imperatriz, more dynamic over 1,000 metres. Private Eye wants further. I just think Blake Shin, if he went a little bit quicker throughout the mid-sections, Private Eye might have finished a little bit closer and may have even won. But Imperatriz at 1,000 metres just had that dash to win, and, well, she's a star, isn't she? And Private Eye's in front 50 metres after the post. So an action-packed Black Caviar Lightning Stakes. All eyes were on Jimmysstar and the Elms handicap, and he jumps away not the best from gate number 10, or whatever gate he ended up jumping from, and Williams rouses him up to settle in a forward position, which ended up being the lead, since a lot of horses on its inside obviously knew it was the $1.20 favourite and wanted to keep it working, which is probably what cost it the race due to spending too much petrol tickets. I watched this race back a couple of times, and if Craig Williams takes his medicine and goes back, he ends up in Windstorm's position or he's 3 wide no cover. If he's 3 wide no cover, he doesn't win the race and there's no chance. But if he's where Windstorm is, right next to the winner in Makram, does he produce a better turn of foot over 1400 metres than Makram? Most likely. He probably wins the race if he takes his medicine and goes back. But he made a decision to go forward to the lead, which I didn't think at the time was too bad, because he'd be out of trouble. He did do a lot of work to get to the front and went pretty quick in front. Not a frantic tempo, but went pretty quick. And he held on for a fair way, just got bloused late. If he's in the All-Star Mile, why doesn't Makram get to be in the All-Star Mile? Or Savannah Cloud was close as well. Is Jimmysstar really that good? He's beaten up a lot of benchmark 70 and 84 horses, finally gets up to a listed race, and he goes under as a $1.20 favourite. What do we all make of this? I want to hear what you think in the comments below. This was the CS Hayes Stakes, taken out by the Derby winner in Riff Rocket. Riff Rocket jumps away only fairly and goes back to a midfield position, but it was a good position in the end because they went really, really quick. Ambassadorial for Waterhouse Bot and Hey Fat Cat just raced each other for the lead in the early stages, and you can see how far they've already got in front of the 3rd and 4th horse. They've gone really quick. They've already given the horses back in the field a big chance to catch up, and those are where some of the leading market contenders were, such as Otago, King Colorado, and even Riff Rocket had some good support late in betting. They try to slow it up here, but the damage has already been done. They're just letting the midfield and back markers catch up to them without having to do too much work. I was on Otago. I was pretty confident at this stage because I knew he had the race fitness and I thought he'd just be the fit horse on the scene. But it turns out maybe off a 5-week break into a tough run like this wasn't ideal for him. He ran 4th, which was still decent, but compared to starting favourite. It was disappointing from Otago. Riff Rocket gets out, and you were always going to know that he would just keep going. So at this stage, you think he'd just win because he's better suited over further, and he's able to keep up off that fast speed. King Colorado can't go with him late because Riff Rocket just had the better turn of foot and off that fast speed. I just had a look at some of the ratings from Sydney as well, and there was a horse that was the second best rating on the card, ran in race 4. I can't even remember the horse's name. Trained by David Pfeiffer, one guy, one tie, something like that. That rated really well. Keep an eye on that if you're looking for a horse from Sydney. It can go up in class and be really competitive. The winner of race 4 in Sydney, one guy I'm going to go with, but I can't really remember. If I want to be following one horse out of this Flemington meeting, obviously everyone's going to be following the big stars like Imperatriz and Riff Rocket, but I want to be following Eternal Flame. That race, the Trecity rated really well. Eternal Flame never got a crack at them. I think this is a really classy mare. Had her on top today, and she just never got a crack at them in the straight. So the one I want to be following from this meeting is Eternal Flame, but it was a very action-packed day today at Flemington. Not one to remember for the punters unless you're on Imperatriz. So onwards and upwards to next week in the Black Caviar Lightning. Let me know your thoughts on the day down below. And I'll see you in next video.